soldier. Give me space and I'm in a good place. Very serious, mysterious, mind makes right. In for the fight. Starlight out on low. Starlight out on low. Starlight out low. Cosmic soldier. Give me space and I'm in a good place. Very serious, mysterious, I makes right. In for the fight. Starlight out low. Starlight out low.
What is up, everyone? I am tired as hell today. Tired. Probably. Super tired. Don't really have a topic for today. It was very, very weird conversations we were having yesterday. I had to put that boy on members only. How's everybody doing out there in La La Land? I've heard some weird things about Iran, but I don't really know. I don't really know if it's true or not, so I don't really want to talk about Iran. There's some stuff about Indians and the tech industry with Amazon. So, I don't know. Apparently, let's see here. Amazon's e-commerce business has summoned a large group of engineers to a meeting on Tuesday for a deep dive into a spat of outages, including incidents tied to the use of AI coding tools. The online retail giant said there had been a trend of incidents in recent months characterized by high blast radius and Gen AI-assisted changes. Among other factors, according to a brief note from the meeting, under contributing factors note included novel Gen AI use for which best practices and safeguards are not fully established. Folks, as you likely know, the availability of site and related infrastructure has not been good. Dave Tawa, Senior Vice President, states. One of the things that can be deducted from that is there's a lot of H-1B visa Indian coders producing code with AI, and both are extremely incompetent, and it's gumming shit up. Like that's a large percentage of the problem. And I mean, if you backtrack it through, if you know anything, shout out to Corp AI. Well, happy birthday, Johnny Lopez. Josh, I am extremely low energy and need somebody to bounce off of. Get your ass up here. We're talking about coding. Shout out to Corp AI. I don't know, man. When it's used by Indians, I don't know about all that. I mean, you're really only seeing this issue from companies that are kind of they get Indian CEOs, Or on the track to getting Indian suit. Oh man, here's something. Here's something. I'm pretty sure this is you, but I still got to do security check. Be in the habit. What's up, Josh? Welcome to the show.
No, put me on the camera so I can drop my pants. Ah, damn it! You did it too fast. Porn bomb.
Ah, why is it so small?
Hey, you see the tattoo called Tic Tac across there? That should tell you something.
How are you doing today, good sir?
I'm good. What's your hatred for the Indians? And I mean the dot-headed Indians, not the feather ones, right?
Basically the South Park. They took our gerbs. Not really. Like, I don't like their culture. I don't like a lot of bullshit. For instance, their culture is one of subservience. It's not really compatible with the West.
Yeah, it is mostly not. Yes.
Well, because like if you look at it, right, whenever you have a conversation with an Indian online, even one that lives in America and has been here for maybe 2 or 3 generations, it's never about facts and logic. It's all about status with them. Sure. And I'm like, bro, fuck your status. Like, look at the fucking terrorists that attacked the protest in New York. They're extremely fucking wealthy. Doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean that being here is good for the country.
This is true. Yeah. Technically, you can't. God, I hate Jay Dyer, but I have to kind of, I have to fucking bite into his theory here. Like the idea that money is actually not the probably not even the top 5 things that's actually good for a country. Right? Like if you were to put like the things that you need for a country to be,
I mean,
what you deem to be valuable, money is actually not going to be the top 5.
Emmett, we bash on the retards over here all the time, good sir. Just because some of the retards we bash are your friends doesn't mean they're not retarded.
But I wanted to push back here just a slight bit, right? Like the idea of AI, like the idea of an Indian using
before you continue, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I woke up on an okay side of the bed, but somehow between 11 and now I have become really bitchy and pissy and not even bitchy, just like angry and malice.
Yeah, you can be malice, you can be angry. I don't give a shit. I got thick skin. I can take it. Could you just hit me in my arms, because the rest of my body really sensitive.
No, I took B Braves workout recommendations into account, and I think that has something to do with it. Like, I'm very angry. Like, I feel like I'm coursing with testosterone.
I gotta ask, what's B Braves like? Is he just lifting oxygen tanks? Like, what's his suggestion?
Well, he told me to start maxing out, and I don't like to just do one pump and done. I treat my weights like I treat my women, and once I find my max, I try to do it more than once.
You and I are very different people, right? Like I'm however many pumps I can get inside of 6 seconds. If it's 1, well then so be it, right?
Yeah,
sometimes I'm a little slower that day.
Yeah, but big dog, I like to fuck. It feels good for me too.
I like to rub it on something. I lose interest really fast. What can I say?
Well, I'm also a masochist, so when I feel tight in my muscles and it makes me feel, it's weird. It makes me feel alive and angry, but at the same time, like I get this not panicky feeling, but I don't know what to do with life when I get like this. Like I want to conquer shit. I want to fight. I want to write. I want to do something productive, as it were. And it's just like I don't know what to do. So I try to take me a nap, and like I couldn't.
So here's my contention with the whole the Indians utilizing AI to write code. The jobs are still going to go outsourced. They're going to go to the cheapest. At the end of the day, it's always going to go to like the lowest bidder. That's just welcome to capitalism. It's the ugly side of it. However,
capitalism, big gay.
Yeah. However, the idea of importing, meaning like immigration is going to be part of it, that actually AI actually goes against them. If you notice, like Google did like the layoffs, hell, most of the damn big tech firms did layoffs and stuff like that at COVID. What they learned is their operational cost was lower. So that's why all the corporations are kind of fighting about it. Sometimes you need people in the office. But if you're talking about specialized fields like coding, can actually be done remotely. Unless there's a security issue, then things get a little bit, a little dicey.
Oh no! Wait! Hold on. You, sir, are a bastard, not lost. Man, I was playing Disco Elysium, and I'm gonna hit you up in Discord and tell you why. I don't think I can keep playing it. It hits me too hard in my feels on a personal level.
Did the communists piss you off?
No, there's actually a story in there that if you read into it, it can lead you down some negative thoughts if you've been through some shit similar. No. I'll hit you up. But
anyways,
I'll even give you a refund. Like I don't know if I can. I'm gonna be real. I don't know if I can do it.
But the point was generally like AI in general, coding in general, that actually isn't going to contribute to a whole large scale of immigration. Matter of fact, it's going to be quite the reverse, unless security comes into the play, right? There would be the concept of like shared information. Yeah, you usually have to have a kind of like physical access, aka, yeah, I'm going to hire you. You'll do all your work on my laptop, and that fucker will never leave the office. That kind of thing, right? That you sometimes run into that, but those ain't huge numbers. The idea of coding is not going to. It doesn't lead to huge imports of immigrants just because they do it cheaper. Now, to be fair, right, jobs are still going outsourced, right? Because hell, they'll do the job for fucking like a third of what we would do it for. But generally speaking, it doesn't really contribute that large scale to immigration. I know everybody talks about like Google and how like most of them are Indians, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's switched. Unless they've already managed to get their residential status, which usually apparently is mostly by schools. It's at the end of the day, if you really wanted to take a chunk out of like bringing people in, you'd have to go after the schools first, because that's usually it's either education or marriage. Those are the two main inputs coming in.
Hit me back up on Discord, not lost. I just messaged you. I want to make sure you understand why I might not be able to finish it. But yeah, no, I completely understand I understand the issues and the capitalist side, right? But the simple fact of the matter is, it's not necessarily a matter of capital.
You're coming at it from the moral aspect again.
Well, it's not. No, I'm coming from. I'll be real. I'm being real with you. I'm coming from the racial aspect, the tribal aspect.
Oh, I'm giving that. That's still a moral concept, right? Like, if you want to continue to be your culture, right, you can't be surrounded by others. Yeah, like I get it. It's still a moral claim, though, and I'm okay with it. This is why I said that, like, you should at least be the king of your town, right? Like, if you've got a problem with bullshit in your town that you really want gone, get rid of it.
Well, the thing about it is the Indians are using it as a neo-colonialist thing, and I can't just say nothing while that shit's going on.
I tend to agree. If you wanted to actually oppose that, you're gonna have to start going after, like what they said, like the enforcement of the immigration laws, things like that. That stuff gets a little bit hairy. I think Trump is he's feeling a way around it. Like, maybe he might find something. I have no idea. But that's where you'd have to go after it. Like the naturalized citizens, they can still have their citizenship revoked. But once them kids are born on U.S. soil, they can stay. Parents got to go, right? But the kids unfortunately get to stay unless we find something else in a loophole somewhere. That's what it is. And I don't take contention with the idea that my town, I mostly want to be me, people like me. I don't want like outsiders in there. And that's because I think it's a very valid concern. I don't want my children and my offspring and my generations behind me to be influenced by outsiders. I want to dominate the influence. That would be a fair point.
I'm not against that, but again, like my issue with it is the neo-tribalism or the neo-colonialism and the whole, because like I don't know, it's a me problem. I understand that, but I hate the subterfuge aspect of it. Right?
You think this is there's pretty much anybody over the age of 40. Oh, okay, anybody with kids is going to have the same similar problem.
Well,
you ain't new to this.
Well, no, it annoys me, right? Because I don't like the way they do it. If it was a fair competition, that's fine. But people like to bitch and complain and say like the Europeans it wasn't a fair competition. Yes, it was. The same people had the same open air and opportunity to invent and adapt like we did. They didn't.
I don't know how to come at the fairness part of this though.
I don't even care about it. I really don't. Honestly, I don't care about the fairness. I don't like the lies and deception.
So if you take like the concept of AI, or at least utilizing AI to let's say write essays, right? Back in the day, I think before Grammarly was there, it was Microsoft Word. I think it was, right? You remember how in school our teachers would tell us you had to write like a 5,000 word essay, and you're just like, fuck this, right? Like I only need 250 words and I can get it, right? But then you'd run it through Microsoft Word, change some settings on it to rewrite the grammar because it had a grammar function within it to basically get, increased word counts. We did this. We used to do this. I guess now the system is it's probably a little bit easier. Like I don't have to, take like 5,000 or, an hour to boot up Microsoft Word or something like we had back then. But we stopped. That was the problem, right? This is more of an us problem. If outsiders can do it, like say using AI, right? We should be able to do it too. And we can, because we've done it like in our generation. I would assume that the younger generation probably just as good at it. They just don't, probably because they don't give a shit. This is that whole like the times are too easy, if that makes any sense. I think people kind of don't think that, like when life comes to like slap them in the face, I think most people don't see it coming because they believe ultimately deep down that life is just easy, or that it's going to be a replication of when we were children and life was easy boat.
Speak for yourself, brother. My life ain't ever been easy.
Okay, so you're an outlier, right? I don't think we're talking like the majority of population though. I really don't.
Yeah, no. That's the biggest thing that annoys me about talking to Americans about anything, right? And I love the prank Not Lost played on me revolving what I'm about to say for this specific topic, right? Because he had me playing Disco Elysium, and the racist lorry driver, he goes, "There's your representation." He was messing with me, he's joking around. But this is my issue. This kind of plays into my issue, right? When life is easy, you typically get people who are naive and want to share in the splendor and the resources.
Yeah.
And then get surprised Pikachu face when there's nothing left for them or their family or their children. And then
Correct.
when they share with people who are from a different culture, different society, different everything, that's a dog eat dog world, they surprise Pikachu face when those people plant a knife in their back.
Yeah, correct again. Yes.
See, the thing is, the West is predicated on two things: power and control. The way that they
Yeah.
control their own, the way they control us is they atomize us. They destroy our lineage, they destroy our roots. They tell us, we can't really do anything. Right?
Again, I fundamentally do not disagree here.
The way, well, the way that they enslave the outsider or the Indian is they tell a man it's paved with this street is paved with gold. You can do anything, and they offer them slightly more than they would get in their shithole of a country. They're basically still slaves, but those people are fine with it. In fact, they're so fine with it that because they're the managerial class over the native, they want to increase it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, yes.
Well, it's not just corporations and capitalists. I don't disagree with you, not laws, at all. I emphatically agree with you. But the people on your side, like Hassan Piker, these champagne socialists, they operate this same way. If you had your radical socialist revolution, those people would assume the same mechanisms of control that capitalists and corporations take. You see it play out time and time again. The only true future is National Socialism. The only true future if you want to have a multicultural society, if you want to have a multiracial society, you want it to function, National Socialism is the only future. That's it. You are going to have to force people to pay into the system and get along. What's up, Witchy Bitchy? Good day. You are going to need a system which balances capitalism and socialism, that balances the individual and the state. You're going to have these things. If you don't, you will fail. I mean, he's still a piece of shit champagne socialist. I don't care how much money he donates. That's the thing. That's the whole thing with champagne socialists, brother. They donate money because it makes them feel good. There will be no monarchy that rises. What's up, Wishy Bitchy? Welcome to the show. I have listened to Hassan Piker. I think he's retarded.
Oh,
look, sorry, Christos. There will never ever be a monarchy again, especially not a Catholic one. What's up, Witchy Bitchy? How are you doing, darling?
Oh, mostly good. I just want to warn you that I was threatened to be attacked on any panel I go on, so I don't want to,
by who and what?
Panel. By Tent for something I said on your panel yesterday.
Who? Fuck the what?
Man.
Who? Oh, gas mask.
Tenth man.
Oh, fuck. You Yeah, 10th.
Why?
Come get me.
Why?
Because I said on your panel what my philosophy of eugenics. It's not for everyone to agree with. It's my philosophy, and like you're talking about force. We are forced to do a lot of things, and people comply. And it doesn't have to be for everyone to think it's a good idea. It's the idea I had. And I guess he got upset about it, but didn't come up to confront me. And he wanted me to go on his panel where he yells over everyone, drops them if they don't shut up when he wants to talk, drops them if they disagree with him. And I'm supposed to go up there to debate my philosophy, or not even debate, defend my philosophy from him.
Well, that seems to be the case everywhere. I try not to do that. Sometimes I do it, but typically I do it when people are talking over each other, because the audience loves that shit.
Well, I offered him a real debate on eugenics. I was like, Beth can host it. That's his co-host. They're tight. Beth can host it. We can do a debate. We can schedule it and debate eugenics. I'm fine with that. But I'm not just going to jump on someone's panel to be berated, yelled at, and overtalked, and then ultimately dropped.
Would radical socialism really represent the people, not lost, or would it represent the people you agree with? That's the real question. That's the thing, man. That's the issue with democracy. That's the issue with the form of politics we have.
Why should all the people have a say-so?
They shouldn't.
Like, some people just, I mean, I feel like there should be some kind of, I don't vote, by the way, so I'm going to throw that out there. I think there should be some sort of adequacy test to vote. Cognitive ability.
And that right,
issues.
that right there are not laws. That is the problem. I know the answer is no. And if you don't take my views seriously, and I think it's going to bite you in the ass. In fact, I think people like me that are racially aware but not racist are right. And I think that the world is going to come to rue the day that they did not listen. Because it's going to be a bunch of bullshit that happens. You're not respecting people's differences. You're not respecting people at all. You're not respecting their culture. And you're not respecting the things that actually naturally divide us, which leaves you susceptible to them. And this is how genocides start. Just saying. Go ahead, Witchy Bitchy. You can talk. 10th Man is welcome over here again. Like, if he wants to come and talk to you, if you want to talk to him.
That would be fine with me. I just wanted to let you know that he might come up.
Why does he want to?
Like, I brought negativity to your panel, so you know.
Oh, today you couldn't bring more negativity right now.
Oh, okay.
They did not get through until I got finished with that spiel. They did not. I see them. That's why I shut up and let Witchy Bitchy talk about what she was talking about. There's no point in saying.
I'm just curious. This National Socialism that you think is the answer, can you describe it?
I can, and I've done it a million times. I'd rather not to once again.
Okay, I'll go back and look for it.
Oh. The simple fact of the matter is people want me to give, and the reason I don't like doing it is people want me to give platitudes. They want me to give solutions to answers. And the issue is these issues that we're facing have been being faced since like the beginning of time. They're cyclical. They repeat because people just stop being a vanguard against them.
Pretty much. You can't even really get. You can't get everybody to. You can't even get a majority of the people to agree to the same moral standards, right? That's the problem. And so when you say the word like, let's just start with like nationalism, right? This is where the breakdown kind of comes down between like say me and OG, right? So I'm pretty much of a staunch corporatist, right? But his fundamental belief is that if you have a corporation or a business like on U.S. soil, it is intended, its purpose, its goal, its foundation is to benefit the nation, right? Whereas when you get into corporation, especially when you get into corporations, right, it's all about the money and it doesn't matter about the nationality. You can just as easily pick up and go somewhere else, right?
People are number and replaceable. When
right.
When all of the and what pisses me off about Josh is all of the data shows that is not true.
Yeah.
People are not replaceable. People are not just numbers.
But I also have like I don't give a shit like a mentality, and that would be the issue, right? So the core of what he's getting to is people ought care. And then when you run in, I guess people like me where I just don't actually care. Like the vast majority of the population of Earth, I just don't really care. That's where the contention comes in. But that's the summary.
Actually, Wishy Bitchy, I actually will describe to you how I think National Socialism should be ran. The way that we should run our country is we should run our country as a militant republic where voting is limited to those who served, who have a business, who own land, and who are productive members of society. There should be 3 basic classifications for residents within your country: citizens, permanent residents, and visitors. Citizens should make up your voting class and your civil servants. Residents are those who are members of your tribe or ethnicity or religion that have not given to the state and thus do not qualify for benefits and these sort of things. They want to be libertarian. They want to do this. They all they have to do is pay taxes, and they receive the protection of the state, and that's it. Right? They want to run their businesses. They can do that. They don't want to be involved in the state. All right, whatever. Right? Maybe I'm not explaining that the best, but you get the picture. The government should be structured like the military, plain and simple, pragmatic and efficient. It doesn't matter. It does not matter the race of a person. It matters their ability to be productive and beneficial to society.
So I kind of agree with you, but I see that on a global scale, not a national scale.
That's the problem. You won't get that without eugenics. You won't get that. You will not get that without rugged hierarchy.
I am a proponent for eugenics, as I stated yesterday, which offended some people, and I don't care. That's my position on it.
Fair. But
I also believe that there is those who are capable of doing and those who are capable of following. And that's one of the reasons Den and I disagree, is because I believe we need police. I believe that most people need to be police.
We absolutely need police. And
Den
Denison
oppose police. Den opposes the abuse. What he would consider to be abuse of authority.
That's but Denison, and if you haven't gathered this from talking to him, you can go back and watch and find out from a few months ago.
I've known Den for 7 years now.
Thank you for stopping by, D. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I've known Denison for 7 years. I'm pretty aware of the things we disagree on, and that's one of our biggest ones. Is I firmly believe that some people are leaders and some people are followers, and there's a difference.
Some people are natural born criminals. We don't need them in our society.
Well, and yes, I want to pillage and plunder. Damn it! Stop fucking trying to throw me out, OG. Damn it! I want to pillage and plunder.
That's where eugenics comes in. You know,
I don't want to die.
I don't believe in attrition as the best way of eugenics. I believe birth control is, and I talked about that, and I really firmly believe that the biggest problems we have with humanity stem from childhoods filled with trauma and false scarcity.
That's kind of what I was going with yesterday too, when you mentioned false scarcity with the artificial struggle, right? Is they literally give you nothing but breadcrumbs and expect you to succeed. They take your tribe, your village, your family, give you nothing but breadcrumbs, if that, and tell you, get out there and be productive. That's one of the issues.
Yeah, I also think that we argue over whose responsibility children are. We argue over who has to bear the brunt of the expense or the work in raising productive citizens, and then and it falls apart like it has been. I really think it's imperative that having children be a matter of choice, and that having children be a matter of ability as well, because not everyone is in a place to be raising children.
Give me 1 second. I'm pulling something up for not laws because I feel like it'd be funny. So every time I hear him talk, I'm reminded of the Canadians from Fallout.
Well, we sort of
and then the TV show actually made me think of it even more.
We sort of
not laws be like.
Think of them as Americans.
Don't think of them as humans. Think of them as Americans. Not laws be like. All right, go ahead.
We sort of kind of open the door for this for ourselves, right? Like in the concept of child rearing, right? We have over the last 3-4 generations relinquished raising children to the state. And we have been accustomed to this now for at least 3 generations. I'm guessing.
Bro, we literally. I'm so sick of this because in a little bit of ways, wishy bitchy is right. But at the same time, I am so sick of this. We have destroyed purity, honor, beauty, sanctity, and then we've replaced it with hedonism and degeneracy. And we wonder why we're in these problems. Here's the simple fact of the matter is, right? Men, let these bitches go. If she don't act right, let her fucking go. First and foremost, ladies, if he hits you, if he don't fucking spend his money right, let him go. Those are the 2 main fucking problems. Right there. The simple fact of the matter is we are using one another and we are not helping one another. The male and female argument is fucking stupid. The child is both of y'all's responsibility. Women want to use it as a weapon. Women want equality until it comes time for them to suffer just like men do. Men want a partner. Men want a servant, not a partner. That's the problem. Welcome to the show, Andrew. First time over here. How are you?
God, I got to get my servant. Yeah, fuck. Am I shopping in the wrong place? Is that what I'm doing wrong?
Yeah, that's what I thought, doofus.
What, porn bomber?
Yeah, it's gay porn bomber.
Oh, God.
That's what I fucking thought.
Why is it always gay porn and just penises?
Because it's the most offensive to some of us, or many of us, actually.
Oh, okay.
I could care less.
Yeah,
honestly.
But I don't. I get kind of offended by it pretty fast.
No, the simple fact is these people get off on it. People like that are part of the fucking problem. You can't talk about serious things anywhere. The West is so goddamn unserious.
Damn.
The West, I hope Islam or China crush the West. Genuinely. I hope, and I can't wait for it to happen.
But being serious means you have to feel something about it, and damn it, no fifi.
Yeah, I'm sick of that. I'm sick of this fucking faggotry we have as a fucking society. That's why I get pissed off when people talk about you can't be in your fucking feelings. That's another reason I get mad at fucking women. Women say they want a man that's in tune with their feelings and their emotions until you actually let her see and let her inside, and then, hey, they don't want that shit. They want you to be a fucking rugged soldier that can fucking defend them at all fucking times and never be down. But then you have to tolerate and deal with all their fucking bullshit. And it's annoying. Yeah, men, it's annoying, but the red pill ain't right. Just leave the bitch. She's not the right one. Or maybe she is the right one and she's shit testing you. And if you got time for that, ladies and gentlemen, you get what you fucking tolerate. You don't get what you deserve. Nobody ever really gets what they deserve. Because I guarantee you most of us don't deserve the hardships we've gone through. We literally get what we tolerate.
I have a different experience of life than you. It's pretty interesting to hear yours.
Is that you, Dominic?
Yes, it is, OG. Loving the passion.
Well, I'm angry and I'm annoyed and I'm just I don't know why. Like it's a bullshit. And I have tried so hard to be kind and compassionate and understanding for this shit, but I just don't care anymore.
Y'all have to forgive him. Somebody hacked his Pornhub account, right?
Dude,
Like,
I don't even watch
shut
porn.
down.
Like, calm down with that.
I don't know. I find it compelling to hear someone who actually feels what they say. I may not agree with a lot of it because, like I said, my life experience is different, but I still find it compelling if you can be compassionate and still not resort to name calling and ad hominem. We all kind of put things into groups and categories, so that the objective women.
Wishy bitchy, you cut out. You good, darling? Hello? Anyway. And I don't even like doing it. I'm just speaking from my perspective because as a man, I'm obviously not a woman. I don't know the perspective of women. I know what I see, and I see that the fault lies with both. And I see that both don't want to recognize or give up the blame over stupid, petty bullshit. I see the issues with women. I see the issues with men. But they don't want to come together and work together. Women want access to whatever she can take a guy for, and men want a slave. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I see you, Wishy Bitchy. You're up. You're up.
I wanted a slave, and then I got married and realized I was the slave. That's just how it works.
Josh, stop being a nihilist homo. I know for the laugh tells me you don't actually believe that. Be serious.
No, believe it or not, I actually do believe I'm a slave, but I also believe that's my position in life, right? The reason why I'm married is because I don't particularly care so much about who's the boss or who's in charge, right? I just care that we get in the direction that we're intended on going to.
Hold on one second. Not laws. These things are not petty, right? These things are fundamental characteristics of a moral fabric of society. If you want a free society that functions as a national socialist society would, but you get the benefit of freedom, you want a homogenous society with homogeneity in race, religion. You want the same people to be nationalistic. You like gender matters because men and women are different. Sexual orientation matters because there's a whole slew of problems that come about because of sexual orientation. There is a fucking war for the souls and minds of our fucking people and nation. For humanity, even. How about that? We could find common. I say all of fucking humanity. And I'm not even looking at it as from a religious perspective, but the fucking side that you would interpret to be evil is definitely fucking winning. The fact that we have not put these fuckers on spikes for the Epstein files, and we're at war with Iran. They fucking all right. Hold on. Watch this shit.
All the anti-Semites to all the isolationists. I don't believe. Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day. They're the best ally we could hope for. So we have a commander-in-chief in President Trump, who I think is Ronald Reagan plus.
First off, that's a sitting U.S. senator. That's our representative. Doesn't matter if every goddamn fucking citizen that was under him was a fucking the most vile, hate-filled, racist, homophobe, anti-Semite. It is his job to represent them. Second off, What the fuck has Israel done for us as far as allies? Our greatest allies, it's a toss-up between Australia and South Korea. If you really want to go pound for pound. Trade deals, military access, fucking military intelligence that's actually worth a fuck to U.S. interests.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Australia. I want to thank you for World War II for allowing our our troops in the field to furlough into Australia and bang your women while you guys were off in fucking Africa chasing Rommel around, right? Yes, thank you for the Aussie boobies.
And yeah, they, you know what? Every time our allies come over here, they fuck our women. It's what happens.
It's the accent. It's the fucking accent. We can't. We just.
The female Australian accent is the superior accent. If I could find a Japanese woman with an Australian accent, it'd be perfect. That's the perfect human. That is the superhuman right there. All right. But anyway, fucking fourth off, Ronald goddamn Reagan. Really? Ronald fucking Reagan. There are so much things that I want to say that I can't fucking say about this fucking homo. Look, you can tell you don't live in a free country because I have to censor what the fuck I want to say about this man.
You're gonna hate on the .com movement that Reagan did?
No, I'm gonna hate that he shut our fucking mental institutions down.
Yes,
he did. I'm gonna hate on the bullshit that is trickle down economics.
Damn. Yeah.
I'm gonna hate on the fake conservatism. I'm gonna hate on the fact that he bumbled AIDS. And
damn, I gotta look that one up. That one I'm unfamiliar with. The others I am.
Like, genuinely, I hate this motherfucker right now. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. Like, I don't respect anybody in the West right now. And the only reason I want China or Islam to crush the West isn't because I hate my country or I hate my fellow people of European descent. It's because you won't do a goddamn thing. Like, they're raping and murdering children. They are literally destroying the financial future of you and your children. Even if you don't want kids, they're literally threatening your hedonism. They are arresting decent human beings and allowing criminals to walk the street and do terrorism. Every fucking thing they say is hypocrisy and projection. And you're too afraid to fucking actually do a real protest? Or if somebody wears a mask while they're doing protests, they're automatic feds? Or they're doing it the wrong way? Our fucking country was built on revolution, my fellow Americans. I don't even feel like you people deserve to call yourself American anymore. The term doesn't mean anything. You've destroyed the ethnic identity of America. Even the ideal, even if it's an ideal, right? If everybody who says racism is bad, right, and we're a nation of ideals, what the fuck are the ideals? What the fuck are they? Letting politicians gang rape you and take your fucking wallet, and then you saying, "Thank you, sir, may I have another"? Is that what it means to be an American? There is no ethnic identity tied to it. There is no nation state tied to it. It's a fucking idea. But even then, the people that so-called have the ideas to be an American still don't fucking live by them. I may be a fat piece of shit, but at least every fucking time I've turned around and had to deal with authorities, I say fuck you, fuck off, to my own detriment. So before you ask me what I've done, I've told them to fuck off. They don't bother me.
Oh, gee, I'm enjoying your passion. Do you want an interaction for a bit?
No, go ahead.
So how would you define crime on humanity? Is it a national thing or is it all humans on the earth?
It can be either or.
Okay. So a lot of the stuff that is created is divide and conquer. Being an American or a Canadian or Russian, that's divide and conquer. So when people are looking at pictures and they're talking about their politicians, you're not looking at the thing that's actually going to commit crimes on humanity. Those jets.
Hold on. Let me stop you there.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't mind an interaction, but first off, let me dispel this fucking myth once and for all. There is no goddamn divide and conquer for you looking out for your tribe. You do not owe it to anyone else to look out for anyone else's shit. Now, if you want to cooperate, we have seen time and time again that cooperation is great, but forced cooperation will be a divide in of itself. And that's the problem with this country. They force cooperation. They force it under bayonet point. That's how schools were segregated, under bayonet point. They force this cooperation. Now, if like-minded people wanted to work together, that would probably be the best outcome. I have no problem conceding that point. But most people don't. They are too ignorant, stupid, and fearful. And instead of meeting people where they are at and building a good system based around that, people want to force coercion and they want to spend times in this circular argument. They dividing and conquering us. No, your nature and your empathy, your suicidal empathy is doing that. Go ahead, Dominic, you have the floor.
Problem. Again, that's what people will be up against. Usually people's conscious ignorant. So a lot of people aren't going to understand what that actually means. Now, you can even talk about the language that we're using. It's all a form of conditioning. So you have to condition people at a young age to believe in nationalists, same as globalists. Again, that's what I'm talking about. I'm just using a word to explain it.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't. What is a nation? A nation is people you are related to on some type of genetic level. You cannot cut that from nationhood. It is tribalism. And every scientific study that has ever been done shows that children know their own. They can pick out their mother and their relatives before they can pick out others. It is instinctual. This nihilist, feel-good bullshit will be our undoing. It's not hatred to recognize these things. In fact, the only way that you can truly work together with someone that is different than you is to understand these things, because you meet each other on an even and honest meeting area. And I'm sick of pretending that it's any different. I don't hate anybody. I get annoyed at women. I get annoyed at men. I get annoyed at certain genuses that develop certain cultures and certain activities. But do I hate them? No. Because if you're a white man and you commit a crime and you rape, murder, pillage, you get the noose. If you're a black man, you do it too. That's what would happen under my system. So all of this bullshit where you talk about humans not recognizing their own, this tribalism is a part of our fucking reptile brain. It's a part of our basic evolution. What happens when you kick the foundation out from under a house? It fucking collapses. So you do that with your basic fucking genetics. Or your basic evolution. Sorry, I misspoke. And you wonder. No, we don't all come from a Homo sapien woman. All right? No, we don't. Humanity literally, not laws, the ethnic groups literally have different hominids. We're called Homo sapien sapien for a reason. All of our ancestors got down and dirty with Neanderthals, fucking whatever the short pygmy ones were that were in Southeast Asia. No, like, and I'm not trying to overtalk or be disrespectful to you, Dominic. I hear these talking points all the time, and we're not allowed to counter them in a productive or even an unproductive way. It's weird to me.
Like I said, I'm enjoying your passion. Share it out loud. You're not going to get me. You're not going to get me to contest you.
The simple fact of the matter is, if we are not striving to make ourselves better as individuals, and then whatever energy we have left over helping other people, we do not have a reason to bitch about the problems of the world. All of our energy should be either dictated to making ourselves better and helping others, or just fucking. Just be the biggest hedonist you can be. If you're not going to help people, just be a hedonist. But don't be a hedonist that virtue signals from the mountains and tells people to be hedonists, right? Don't promote it as a positive thing. Just go enjoy your fucking life and fuck off, and get with other people who do that. That's fine. But here's the thing that pisses me off about my own country that I've noticed because of all this freedom and fucking fucking tardation is any group of people that want to be pure, want to be positive and productive for the human race. The great masses of freedom-loving, retarded, redneck hedonists will rise up and destroy them. That's the only time they will do anything to work together to accomplish a goal. Look at the Soviet Union. Look at Nazi Germany. Look at what they're doing to China. Look at what they're doing to Iran. Any time that a group of people try to do better based on their morality, based on their beliefs, the individualists want to destroy them. Because humans are not meant to be individuals. We are social creatures. Individualism is literally rot and destruction and decay, and it is used against you. Does that mean that we're a fucking hive mind? No. It doesn't, because the group is only as good as the individual. If you are not doing what you need to do, you are a detriment to society. And like, I don't know any better way to explain this than the retards who go out drinking and driving. I joke about it. I don't actually go drinking and driving. I joke about it, right? I did it before when I was younger. And I fucking end up in a really fucking bad crash. Didn't hurt nobody, thank God. But I also lost my grandmother to drinking and driving. I have friends who's lost family to drinking and driving. I used to call it, because I also suffered from this infestation of individuality and individualism, I used to call it a disconvenience. But no, these people are literally making a choice that has the potential to ruin the life of another human being because of individualism. Look at every pedophile. Look at every sex trafficker. You can say, oh, it's capitalism. No. They are putting their individual desires and wants over that child's life, over that family's life. And they don't give a fuck what the repercussions for other people are. And they wonder why collectivists like me and Not Laws throw up a red banner and line them up against the wall. It's not we hate the rich. I love the rich. I want to be rich one day. I don't want to put my own self-interest over everyone else. I mean, I know you hate the rich, not lost. Talk about myself here. I understand you hate the. I understand you hate the rich. Like capitalists and communists and all this ism. Like I will agree with Dennis in there. That's stupid, because at the end of the day, the same people that talk about communists are a scourge, communists are this, and socialists are bad, they are the reason that these things keep coming around. Capitalism or communism does not exist without capitalism. When you allow some douchebag to engage in human trafficking, the victims of that eventually are going to get tired of seeing themselves abused and harmed. There's only two paths once that happens. Suicidal self-destruction, which unfortunately in the West and because of individualism is what the people are choosing, or organized fighting, organized resistance. No, communism feeds off capitalism too, Dominic.
Well, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they're two coins of the same bird. They're both materialists.
Well, as long as you have human factors involved, that's where you're going to have them flipping back and forth. Even though communism in theory can work, all the rest doesn't work. Democracy is a story being told to the human race. As long as you have human factors, you're always going to have these things aren't going to work out.
I don't agree. I don't think that the issues, and I've definitely got to put this bad boy on fucking members only. This one's going to go to the highest one. The simple fact of the matter is, it's not the human element. It's greed. It's lust. These sins that the church talks about, they exist. They may not exist in this religious fundamentalist view. They exist in the hearts of men. But so do the virtues that these churches and religions talk about.
They both do. I'm with you.
What you have to understand, though, is the biggest virtue and sin right now in this world is action. And I can't say which action, but I'm pretty sure you know which action I'm talking about. It starts with a V and rhymes with islands.
I think, OG, when it comes to tribal/community, if it's a healthy one, you'll know everybody in your community and you'll help each other from a very young age. And then you're not going to have those situations where somebody might be a pedophile or whatever, but you nip it in the butt. But unfortunately, when you start moving people around from different parts of the world...
Oh, no. Not only do you nip it in the bud, you nip it in a bud in a glorious exercise of righteous anger and violence.
Yeah, it serves. And then, of course, if you do it enough times, that it doesn't now go on to the people that are being abused, and then you have to deal with them too. Because there's a lot of people that need to heal. Even the ones that are abusers are also trying to heal in their twisted way. And again, that's still about humans, unless you want to talk about the being part of the human. But I get it, and because humans are attached to their emotions, because we're animal creatures. But for most people, they have never fully developed their emotions. So then what they're doing, they're aimlessly getting mad at each other, which is fine, as long as a person says, okay, but you have a limit to it. Because if not, people are just going to aimlessly get angry with each other. And last time I remember, humans are still spending a lot of resources on war devices.
We always will, man. War's not the problem. Sorry.
It contributes.
Conflict and violence is not the problem. It's actually, some would argue, it's the solution. I find myself more closer to that camp. The simple fact of the matter is violence, negotiation, and diplomacy are all tools in a toolbox.
Depends on who's leading it and how the masses are being guided by it. Because if the masses are ignorant, then it doesn't matter whether or not you have a person that's saying, listen, I'm going to wield it with kindness, even though it's going to be a little bit tough along the way. The issue, more times than not, OG, is the masses. It's not the few that are trying to help each other become aware, and the few that are going to use.
Well, that was the whole spiel about no matter who they are, when I have purity, goodness, and all this, the masses will rise up and destroy them. And then the few that lead those masses will spend years of propaganda to tell you how bad it is, or how bad those ideologies and how bad those people were.
Hence news, all the propaganda. Whether or not people are literally sending bombs to another country.
Not laws. I would typically agree with you. The vast majority of people that talk about violence don't understand it. But I have lived most of my life in violence. Right?
Well, you'd be best suited then in those situations, but most wouldn't.
And I'm speaking on it because I'm angry that we have our politicians raping children and selling children and destroying the financial futures of every person on this planet and trying to enslave every person on this planet. And everyone thinks you can beat them by kumbaya, my lord, and pacifism. These people will kill you when you are an inconvenience. This is one of the reasons that I'm having a crisis of faith with Christianity, by the way.
Most people that are Christians, like Satanists, they're not actually following a God or Satan themselves. They're following the me. They're all into themselves without even being fully aware what the self is. So I get it. Anybody that says I am a Christian must be I'm an atheist. It's all about themselves. So really,
then you don't vote your way out of oppression and slavery, not loss.
That's true. Very true. If anything else, you're just indicating you will aimlessly give an X to a situation without being fully informed.
I'm not saying that every single situation you should be ultra violent because I'm an edgy fucking teenager or an edgy retard that's never experienced violence. I'm saying when there is sex trafficking in every fucking small town, when your court systems are so evil and trying to fucking wring out every drop of blood, when your businesses and corporations are trying to do the same as your court systems, and it's not the people in your shining capital on the hill where the empire, the heart of the empire, but it's rot and gangrene in every fucking vestige of society. Man, where I live, there is a 16, or there was, this has been quite a few years ago, there was a 16-year-old girl who wasn't even emancipated, but was pregnant with a 30-year-old man's kid. And because he was cool with cops and a bootlicker, he pimped out this girl. And the police investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. It's every fucking where. It's everywhere. And then you compile on the financial destruction with the actual evil that is going on, and you lose hope. And I see people who say just vote your way out of it.
Sometimes, OG, when you lose hope, you can actually ignite what's called awareness. Sometimes you got to kill hope, but sometimes you'll get beat up a little bit, So once again, once you become aware of those situations, there's a good chance that 30-year-old is a club member of some sort. These crimes are being made everywhere. So once again, it's crime on humanity. If you don't do your part, if people think two wrongs, or in this case, two actions corrects it. That might be true in some instances, but not in all instances. So once again, action is needed, but a lot of times you really person has to understand how the heart works and how the thoughts work.
I'm not even doing a call to violence.
No, you're not.
I'm just saying better yourself.
Yep, I'm with you.
Be prepared for revolution. Be prepared for war. And don't take these stupid fucks You go, hurdy, you don't have money, or hurdy, you can't do a pull-up. Get yourself there. Make yourself ready.
Most revolutions.
Don't listen to these people.
Well, you can, but hopefully you listen to with some wisdom and understanding, opposed to just hearing them and aimlessly following it. That's how people get themselves into the situation. So,
the more that I lose weight, now I'm still a fat fuck. Don't get me wrong. But the more that I lose weight,
okay.
the more that I read, and the more that I actually am trying to learn skills and better myself in general, the better and stronger I feel. And I don't mean physically. Obviously, if you're working out and dieting, you're going to feel better.
Your body will feel better. Your body will.
But I'm talking about spiritually and morally, and just I feel great.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get this fucking sudden rage build up in my core because I see all of these things going on. Like I literally feel on fire right now. That's how angry I am with this shit.
And you're allowed to.
Because like we keep hearing about it, and it only gets worse. And like they're literally murdering and raping children and destroying the financial future of your life. And then what kills me is people will come on here and say people should have the right to do drugs. I don't know what soft, limp-wristed motherfucker thinks that drugs are okay for society and actually means that, because they obviously haven't lived in places that I've lived. They haven't seen the worst it can get, or they haven't had a family member on it, or someone they cared about on it, or they themselves are an addict. Fuck those people as well. Don't listen to these people.
There is a difference between medicine and drugs. So you said a word earlier, and I was trying to just share it out loud, because the subconscious usually doesn't understand what you're saying because it'll follow it. There's a difference between losing and shedding weight. I know it's a play on words, but again, this is how we get conditioned.
I think shedding would be the better alternative, because my muscles are coming back, and my endurance is coming back. I'm able to run with my dog. I also quit smoking, and I am also dieting. I do still vape, but that's becoming less and less as well.
Well, it sounds like your throat chakra is opening and you're venting, which is good, because, revolution, for me personally, I've heard people talk about revolution. Revolution should start inwards first.
No, you're absolutely correct. And that's why for the longest, whenever I would talk about revolution and people would like make fun of it or say stupid things like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that for yourself, da da da, I would internalize that, because you have to. And I used to say this all the time. Whenever I was a white nationalist, I would try to talk to my brothers and heal them, because that's always what I've tried to do, is I've tried to heal and talk to people, because I recognized that there were a lot of people that didn't just love their people. They were there because they were angry, and people would recruit for those things. They were angry. They were full of hatred. I'm like, nah, bro, this isn't the way to be. You have to love your people. You can't hate other people. You have to, and I tell them, you have to look inward. You can only fix what's wrong with our people, with this moral disease, not by letting your hatred out on others because they're different, but by looking at what makes you angry with your society, what makes you angry with your situation, and building yourself a fortress where you can defend against that in your own communities, in your own place, in your own life. Nobody wants to listen to that because that's hard.
Well, let's hope the few, because the masses, you already know where they're at. You have brought up the other day about Confucius. One of the teachings of Confucius was, the parents should know first 13 years of that child what gifts have been bestowed upon that child, and then harness it. And then bring it to the community and say, listen, this child knows about, crops, or they understand about the luminaries and that. But unfortunately, a lot of people, and it's always fun when I talk to parents and say, I raised my kid. I said, did you teach him how to breathe? Well, no. Did you teach them how to digest their food? No. So you taught them all the conditioning parts. Well done. Now, that might be a struggle for some people, OG, but then that tells me that they're not emotionally developed, especially if they're going to talk about Christ consciousness, being mentally and emotionally developed. A person shouldn't be triggered. A person shouldn't play into the conditioning of right or wrong, I agree or disagree. No, you just hear each other out. That's a sign of respect. And if you're listening inwards, something stronger within you will reveal itself and say, yeah, he's just sharing out loud. He's not trying to prove a point. He's actually trying to share a point. But unfortunately, most people, they play like it's a chess game where you have to win or lose, opposed to just observe the game. The elites, whoever they may be, they pay people to understand this shit. The masses, they're too busy being asleep. I get it. They got to go to work, do all that. But if they understood how fiat currency really works, you think they'll understand the energy that they have to give up for that piece of paper that's valueless? But then that person will say, yeah, but how do you get everybody to follow money? Well, that's called power. You manipulate people to be in the military. You manipulate people to think that their color of their skin is black and white. I'm like, no, you guys are dark skin or light skin. But that's when a person starts revolting from within. You don't go knowing others, you know thyself. And you should be able to rip a hole in the self. It sounds like you've done it quite well, by the way, OG.
I've done it for years. There is nothing. The issue is it was self-destructive. It was not done in a way that was to construct. Right? I've always looked inward at myself and saw my own problems, and I tried to fix others and help others find peace, and never did it for myself. And now I'm being selfish and doing it for me. And now that I'm doing it for me and it's working, I want to help people even more. So it's weird, and not lost here. That's the thing. That's the thing, my brusky. That's the downfall to being just a globalist socialist. You get so angry at the bad guys, and you forget that there's an entire subservient class of people that are going to be hurt, that are innocent, and that system collapse. That's why you have to be a nationalist. That's why you have to look out for your tribe and your group. Because you see what's happening to the American people, their own government's turning against them because the systems that prop them up no longer work for the American people. The American people don't want to be evil. Vote socialist is the best advice you can give.
I think, OG, I would lean more towards people being ignorant than innocent. But again, talking to military people, regardless what country it is, you're not technically defending your country when you're in somebody else's country mass. So at that point, the American military is not really liked by other countries because they figure, okay, you defend your borders, but wait a second here. Are we not forced to trade with your American currency that kind of devalued in 2005? This is where a lot of countries don't really favor the empire right now. Call America for what it is. It's the empire. Forget about the citizens in it, but it's the empire. And they're already choosing to move it. So at this point, they're going to give you Black Lives Matter. They're going to give you all these different, because they're going to promote it on their broadcast. The thing is, how does it serve them to know this information? When people debate with each other, argue with each other, which is kind of challenging, because how do you debate somebody else's senses, especially when I'm the only one that's having it? That takes somebody that's totally asleep to do that. Well, I'm debating. I'll do that alone. I'm masturbating. Do that alone. Outside of here, we're just sharing with each other. But I get it. People want to be angry, which is fine. You can be angry, no different. You can be sad. You can be in denial. You can do whatever great grieving stages you want. But overall, if there's going to be a shift, because there is a shift going on, and whoever the elites are, they're working with it. The masses, they're too busy getting disturbed because I'm used to my enslavement. Why is it being disturbed? What do you mean they're going to get rid of fiat currency and go to a digital system, as most people have a cell phone and they have all this technology that we're using? It's all about transhumanism, it seems, at that point. Whether or not I like it or don't, that's where awareness comes in. It's very difficult to be aware when people struggle with their kumbayas or their anger. Again, that's just me shouting out loud.
I think I think that we're all going to be very disappointed about how this plays out. There will be nothing done about the pedophilic elite. There will be no justice for these people. And we only have ourselves to thank for it. I think that humanity I think it's on its way out. Personally. I've never been this anti-humanist person. Like whenever leftists in media put like animals over people and it's like some self-righteous message, right? It's always pissed me off. And whenever people's referred to humanity as parasites, it's always pissed me off. And whenever people go, we're a virus, we're a plague upon our planet, right? I think that's always made me mad. And I've recently saw something that did that, and it made me think, like, that's true, but not for the reasons they think it is. That's just how life works. Life feeds upon life, and then you die, right?
I guess, OJ, it goes to that what you were talking earlier about tribal, and also I brought in community. When you're actually working with nature, you have your farmers, you have your hunters. But what comes with tech and an overpopulation that becomes very dependent on people moving in as corporations, inevitably you're going to have to, it's like a sports team. Do you get rid of the team or do you get rid of the coaching staff? So at this point, they've become very proactive. They've openly talked about eugenics, depopulation. They've openly talked about it. Now,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm fine with eugenics. It's the depopulation I'm not fine with.
Yes,
Eugenics should not be something that is used to harm an individual. It is something that should be used to it is select harm to make the society better.
it can be, but again, most of them.
Now, if you're doing it to harm an individual or to harm a subsect of society, that is not right. That is evil.
It can be, but again, if you're aware and you step back enough and you realize, so how many people are actually growing crops? How many people are raising animals? How many people are even participating, producing all this technology? So at that point, you have to ask yourself, or anybody, have we become so dependent on the system that eventually it's going to have a breaking point? For them, like I said, they're going to a different system already, and they're actually following the luminaries.
Well, no,
that's the catchy part. Go ahead.
No, you're absolutely correct though. How many of us? It's not even if you're doing it right, because I don't have the ability to be productive right now, right? So I have to ask, how many of us even have the knowledge to be productive, to not rely on the system? I have the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the skill. I have the skills. I don't have the financial ability or the resources. Right? And every day, and I was trying, like I grew my garden every year before the fire. Like this year was the only year I took a break from it, or last year. And like, I know how to raise chickens. I know how to raise animals in general. I know how to filter water. I mean,
you're doing your part, OG. You know,
I know how. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're doing your part, and you probably would have somebody in the community that you would trust enough to say, listen, guys, don't plant today, don't plant tomorrow. So you would touch into those mystics and shamans. But for most people, the way I say it jokingly, we're going to open up all the gates for all the civilized communities and say, listen, go out. There's no time lapse here. And then eventually people go out and they'll realize all their comforts and their desires now are in civilization. That is suffering. Forget about the resistance to pain. Most people are attached to the attachments to comforts and desires. That's what feeds humanity, and that's what feeds their suffering. This is where Buddhism talks about it. That's your attachments. A person will know their pains and say, listen, I don't want that. But gladly know, I have a heated house, I can drive a car, somebody's doing all the mending of the steel and the plastic and the glass, and then I'll go to a gas station where somebody else will bring all that resources there, and then I'll go to somebody else's grocery store. At that point, nobody that actually goes to a grocery store should have a fucking say in OMG. Unless they're doing what you're doing or my wife's doing. I get it conceptually. I might be my own hypocrite, but I'm okay with my comforts. That's why I'm okay talking about this. Where other people, they'll say, oh yeah, well, I'm going to talk like as though, what? You're going to talk to me like a religious person? You're going to tell me where heaven and hell is? Okay, so where is it? I don't know. Okay, so let's get back to our senses now. How many people are truly understanding about grazing animals? Knowing when to plant their seeds? If not, then they should be the ones that should be quiet when they're on panel or on chat. Because they're really not going to input much outside of just saying, listen, I don't agree with something. That's nice. You're like a little child. Go have some pop, stay up all night.
Everybody has an opinion and a belief, but they don't have the knowledge or skills to make those things happen.
And that's challenging. Applying it is a challenging part. And the ones that do it, and if say you're doing it, OG, well done. Hopefully that'll be like a forest fire. And it'll start spreading, and then people say, something? Instead of fighting the system, let's make a new system or a system that can work in harmony with it. Go ahead.
That is what I have always pushed to do, but I've never had the ability to do so. And I just, honestly, with the fire, with the loss of the people that I care about, and just the amount of trauma and buildup, I don't know where to go from here. Because all of my resources are now gone.
Sometimes the universe is pretty funny that way, and clever sometimes, OG. Sometimes it closes the door, kind of, to say, listen, we'll see if you really believe in this stuff or you really want to challenge it. Because you will be stronger for it, even though it sucks probably now.
And people don't want me to believe in National Socialism and the fundamental belief of, which is the fundamental belief of the eternal struggle. But all of the betterment that I've started doing is because of that belief. The reason that I'm still alive through all of this is in conjunction with the people that have helped me and those beliefs. People, it pisses me off that I'm not articulated enough to make people understand what I mean when I speak on these things. I'm not speaking of dogma and fucking race science when I speak about National Socialism.
OG, the word gives it away, understand, as long as you understand it. What we do is we share with other people. What they do with it, that's on them. It's always funny when somebody says, Dom, but I don't understand you. I said, if you understand the tree of life, that's for you to stand under. That's not for me to do that. I'm never going to understand another human being. That's not my role, and I don't want to babysit. As long as you understand it and it makes sense to you, you go with it.
I'm gonna go work out because I'm getting angry. Okay, I'm gonna either go work out or talk to some friends. We'll be back later tonight, Dom, if you want. I would like you to come on the panel, and when I'm in a better spirit, I would like to talk to you more about this type of topic. Are you on Discord by chance?
No. I've been on it before with other people. No, I'm okay. But I enjoy hearing you, OG. Again, you were sharing a lot of passion. I love it.
That passion, unfortunately, gets me in trouble. Like I'm debating on if I should delete this one just because of some of the rhetoric that was spoken.
That's your call. That's your channel. You do whatever you want with it, bud.
Well, I think I'm just gonna put it on members only, top tier.
Send it to United Nation.
But thank you for coming up, Dominic. Thank you for coming up, Josh.
Ciao,
have a good day.